afternoon, sir.
Karam.
Yes, sir.
Karam, have a seat.
Thank you, sir.
Karam, so what are you doing these days?
Sir, I'm working as Tahsildar under training in Samrala.
Okay, in Samrala.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and this was in the previous game.
Yes, sir.
So, how much did you score last?
So in interview?
Yeah.
119.
Huh?
119.
190. Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
you did well there, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, Karan, you're from Peck?
Yes, sir.
And which engineering are you?
Electronics engineering.
You're from electronics. Right. So, after that, what do you do?
Sir, actually I worked for 2 years in Deloitte as SAP analyst.
Okay.
Then I started preparing for civil services later on.
Philosophy is your option?
It was my optional,
It
but
was
my
optional.
attempts are over now.
Why your attempts are over?
Yeah.
So, that's why you're looking good. Okay. And schooling from where?
Sir, I did from Ludhiana,
Ludhiana.
GNPS, Guna Public School.
Yes. Okay, so considering you're from Guna Public School, can you throw some light on the philosophy of Guna?
Sir, the philosophy of Guru Nanak ji was that he was a Vedantic philosopher because he believed in one Brahma, Ekamkar Satnam, and he believed in one Naam, and there is no duality. Can I remove my mask if you?
You can.
Okay. And this is non-dualism. What Guru Nanak Dev Ji believed was that between Atma, the soul, and between Brahma, there is no difference. However, because of ego and illusion, there is a difference created between the two.
Okay.
And he believed that through meditation and Naam Japana, one can attain
Oneness.
oneness with Brahma.
Okay. So these there are a lot of teachers of spirituality. So there is Sadguru.
We can continue to have tea
Yes.
with your permission. Thank you.
There is Sadguru.
Yes.
There is Shri Ravi Shankar. Have you studied their philosophy? What they think and what do they say?
Sir, actually I do Vipassana meditation.
Okay, go ahead.
And their meditation is very similar to Vipassana meditation. Shri Ravi Shankar also started doing Vipassana meditation. Then he started his own institution. And Kriya Yoga, if I'm not wrong, they follow Kriya Yoga. And Sadhguru's philosophy is very similar to Yoga, Patanjali's Sutra, Patanjali's Yoga philosophy. And they believe in mind-body relation, what I know. I'm not well aware about Sadhguru's philosophy, though I have listened to his YouTube videos.
Okay. So can you differentiate between spirituality and religion?
Sir, there's a very famous saying that religion is for people who have gone to hell, who do not want to go to hell, and spirituality is for people who have gone to hell.
Okay.
And the difference is that religion is an institution. Religion has come from the word religare, Latin word, which means to bind. And to bind, what to bind? To bind human beings with other human beings and with our peripheral, core with peripheral. Where spirituality is more, spirituality one can say is a subset of religion. Every religion has to be spiritual, and spirituality means to get closer to oneness, to one cause, one core.
Have you studied Buddhist philosophy?
Yes, sir.
Must have, right? So can you talk about that? What is if you would talk about what has attracted you the most in Buddhist philosophy?
So the core of Buddhism philosophy is Pratitsamutpad. It means the dependent origin of dependent causation. It means every cause, every effect has a cause. And if you remove the cause, if you want to remove effect, you have to remove the cause. And Buddhism says there is suffering. Everyone suffers in one way or other. You must have also suffered. I also suffer. And to remove suffering, there is a cause of suffering, and to remove suffering there is a way, and it is an eightfold path: right view, right speech, right mindfulness, right concentration, an eightfold path. What has attracted me towards Buddhism is that since I have told you that we all suffer, and since it seems a very pessimistic philosophy, though it is very optimistic because it allows us to get rid of suffering, and to get rid of my suffering, I got attracted towards Buddhism. Therefore,
let's go to Jainism. If you compare Buddhism, Jainism, what are the differences according to you?
Sir, Jainism philosophy is Anekantvad and Syadvad. Anekantvad is the metaphysics of Jainism. It means there is Anekantvad. It means manyness of reality, and since the reality is manifolded, one cannot know the whole universe, whole reality. Therefore, one's point of view must be must be relative. Therefore, they say Syad. Syad means relative point of view. One cannot be absolute. And
Shayad.
Shayad.
Just to say,
So, but
it is what you're saying is right, but I'm just saying so that it becomes easier for it's
yeah,
Shayad.
Syad, but there's a misunderstanding that Syad is Shayad because Shayad means perhaps, but they say relative. It is a relative point of view. Okay, and difference.
Language is different at that point. Definitely.
But Syad means relative. For example, relative point of view. Relatively, one cannot attain absoluteism. And Jainism point out that Buddhism, they have a fallacy of ekantvad, that they are saying that my way is only way. Okay. And the Buddhism path is middle path, the philosophy of middle path. And according to their metaphysics, they are Sunyavadins. That is, they also are very similar. They say the reality cannot be known. However, the epistemology, the knowledge part of view is they also have similar point of view with Jainism. We can know from perception, we can know from verbal testimony, we can know from inference.
Compare Islamic thought with the thoughts of Christianity.
Sir, both are.
Take your time. Because obviously the question is why.
Okay. Sir, Islamic thought and Christianity, they are semantic religions, and sir, the difference between these religions and our Hindu thought is that they do not believe in oneness of God. Perhaps this was one of the major reasons the Sufism did not flourish in Saudi Arabia or other parts, because their philosophy was futahut, that is, Sufism believed that there is oneness with the God, Allah, but it was not allowed in Islamic religions. And with respect to Christian religions, sir, historically we can say that they have come from same tree, and Islam was later on 784 AD. Then when Prophet Muhammad.
Okay, going ahead,
Yes,
there is the Al-Aqsa Mosque.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you heard of it?
Jerusalem.
There was an issue there recently. Can you throw some light there?
Sir, Jerusalem, there's an issue that, it is an issue between Jews and the bigger issue is it is basically a political issue, and Israel bombarded Al-Aqsa Mosque, and it led to riots in Jerusalem.
Okay, and what's your view on the Israel-Palestine issue?
So my point is that there must be a two-state solution, and Palestine must be given the area what they are asking for. But it being a very political issue, it may not be easy to resolve.
So,
Sildar,
Yes, sir.
you have put on some weight.
Sir, actually, sir, in lockdown I gained my weight, so I'm doing
in
my
lockdown. I thought maybe it got something to do with being a Tahsildar.
No, sir.
No?
Actually,
You'll shed it, so that means you'll shed it.
Yes, sir.
And you are a cool philosopher. So I'm very sure you will. Now, what is the difference between Nastikvad of the West and Nastik and Astikvad of our own Oriental, especially India?
Sir, in Orientalism, in Indian philosophy, Nastik and Astik are related to Vedas. One who believes in Vedas is Astik. One who does not believe in Vedas is Nastik.
Okay.
For example, Buddhism and Jainism do not believe in Vedas, therefore they are Nastiks, as well as Charvakas. Whereas Astikvad, Sankhya, Nyaya Visheshika, these are Vedantis. They are all Astikvads. With respect to Western philosophy, they are atheism. For example, the philosopher like Sam Harris, Christopher Hitchens, they are neo-atheists. They outrightly reject the existence of God. These are atheists.
It's in simple words, they are concerned with God. We are concerned with Vedas.
Yes, sir. Yes,
in
sir.
simple words, to
Yes,
put
sir.
it
Yes, sir.
in very
Yes, sir.
close.
Yes, sir.
Now, there are supposed to be 10 darshans in India, if I'm not wrong. 4 Nastik and about 6 Astik. Could you throw light on that?
So, Nastik, as I mentioned, Buddhism, Jainism, Charvaka, and Mimamsa. Mimamsa is Veda. They believe in Vedas. However, they do not believe in God.
Ajivikas.
Ajivika sect, yes, sir.
Yeah. 4 is Ajivikas. Anyways,
Ajivika.
the other 6, the Astiks.
Astiks is Nyaya, Visheshika, then Sankhya, Yoga,
Very good.
Mimamsa, and Veda, and Upanishads. The last one is Vedantins.
Uttar Mimamsa and Purva Mimamsa.
Yes, sir.
Let's look at it that way.
Yes, sir.
You know, like Vedanta is itself. Okay.
Yes, sir.
With this in light, do you see any similarities between Sankhya and Buddhism?
So Sankhya's philosophy is that they believe in metaphysics, that is Purusha and Prakriti.
Prakriti.
Okay, sir. And it is said that Sankhya philosophy is very old philosophy, and the Buddhist and Vedantas, they have the roots from Sankhya philosophy. What they did was they believed in dualism between Prakriti and Purush. And Buddhism and Vedantis did not believe in dualism. However, if the Prakriti was made as a manifestation of Purusha, then perhaps Vedantis and Buddhism can be directly correlated with Sankhya philosophy.
Very nice. Now, did Jainism come first or Buddhism?
So Buddha came first before, so the almost similar time period. Jainism actually 24 Tirthankaras. So therefore the first Tirthankaras was perhaps much more before Buddha. But the philosophy wise, if we say the philosophical thought, they were almost on similar times.
That is, let's look at this. The last Tirthankara, Mahavirji, he was along with, he was a contemporary of Buddha.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, when we have such a rich tradition of religions, philosophy, spirituality, practices like yoga, mind and body, how to bring them in balance all the time, it has been there in India. Where is the need of new religions? How did Sikhism come into being?
Sir, every religion has to evolve. Brahminical religion did not evolve, and there was some false practices in Buddhism also. For example, they started eating meat, and they started exercising political mileage. So
I'm not going to argue. We are not creating an argument, but Gurbani says, you said problem with Buddhism, they started eating meat. Nanak himself has said, Gurbani says meat karmurak, mass karmurak jagre. Kya hai isme?
So Sikhism was basically and it is a bhakti tradition. So it came as a consequence of Brahminical religion. I mean, the bad effects of Brahminical religion. And there was casteism, there was inequality prevailing at that time. So Sikhism came just to empower those communities.
Okay.
Yes,
caste you brought about. Caste is causing a huge trouble, and for that matter, it doesn't seem it's ever going to go from India, at least for the time being, as long as we don't change the political realities and the system, because the politicians want the caste to stay, vote banks are involved. How do you look at it that all the religions have said equality of humanity, spiritual journey we talk of, still the casteism there, and Punjab for that matter, and Sikhism, where we talk it's a very modern religion. Every village has 4 or 5 gurdwaras based on caste.
Yes, sir.
How do you look at that, sir?
So the caste has entered our consciousness, and it is very difficult to eliminate.
Solution, sir?
Solution to caste? So see, as Dr. Ambedkar said, there has to be intercaste marriages, and practical intercaste marriages has to be there. Then interdining has to be there. There has to be sense of respect for other caste, which actually unfortunately we do not have, because as you said that there are Ravidasi Gurdwaras in villages. And then economic empowerment.
Even Ramgarhia Gurdwaras.
Yes. Yeah. And there has to be economic empowerment of the vulnerable section, which is not happening. They are confined to a lower rung of jobs.
Sir, you already touched about Vedas, you have touched about basic Vedic philosophy does not mention caste anywhere. The basic Vedic philosophy. I mean, we'll not go to Manu Smriti as yet.
Yes, sir.
But even there, the concepts are different. But Vedas nowhere even mention these castes and all that. How did it emerge something that was totally work-based, profession-based or attitude-based? It emerged, as a birth-based kind of a thing, lineage-based.
Sir, Dr. Ambedkar has written a book, Who Are Shudras? And here, then in a book, he has mentioned the origin of caste. And he has said it was a result of Brahminical and Buddhist conflict. He said that those who dared the dominance of Brahmins, they were outcast. And later on, these outcasts became the Shudras. He said these outcasts were nothing but the Kshatriyas. And this caste system has started from a Varna system. For example, there are 4 Varnas. And
Yes, I got it. Now you said Brahminical. Don't you think that every time in our country where this problem is there is a narrative that has been built up that caste system as if it has been every time manipulated by some kind of Brahmanism. Brahmins have been quite learned people in the country. They have been trying to carry forward the tradition of learning also. No, I'm not prejudiced against or with anyone. I'm just honestly telling you otherwise. So, how does why don't you think it is being a little prejudiced against, again, this is also not kind of casteism, where we say Brahmins or Brahminical traditions are responsible?
So there were atrocities committed against the vulnerable section. And when the atrocities are committed, so the history can pinpoint who have committed the atrocities. It is not to say that Brahmins are a homogeneous community, but there were Brahminical dominance that time. For example, even in Mahar Satyagraha, Ambedkar sees that they were not allowed to go to well, the Dalit community.
Yes, I got it. So your answer is very clear, because with a little bit of hint, I get your answer. My last question to you: Sikhism started as a rebellious movement against all kind of dogmas. Ultimately, it has turned into a kind of a dogmatic religion again, where if suppose somebody has trimmed his beard like you, or somebody wears a cap and goes to a gurdwara, sometimes that person could be ticked by some priests there. Sir, please wear a rumala. To see sir de topi kyun liye? What has topi got to do? Your take on this?
It is very unfortunate that Sikhism has gone into such things, and it is because of the leaders of Sikhism. Unfortunately, they are not that aware about the real aspect of Sikhism. They have focused on peripheral issues rather than the core issue of Sikhism. And and with respect to the turban or topi, it is only, what I feel is that turban is not it is not a marker of Sikhism. It is only to show respect towards gurus. If someone,
or it is a very common sign of, Marathas wear turban, Jats have been wearing, Pathans have been. So it's not a very
and nowadays I think it has to do with aesthetic value rather than religious value of wearing turbans.
And religion talks about 5 Ks. It doesn't mention turban or anything. Anyway, you have hit the bullseye every time. One last question again, although I committed that was my last. Once again, Sikhs have always generally blamed, Muslims ने हमारे ऊपर बड़ा जुल्म किया भी, इसमें कोई शक नहीं, मुगल बादशाहों ने किया. But if you know the Sikh history, how would you say that Sikhs have also been cheated by their own people and let down by their own people? Sometimes people from within the families of gurus, rather mostly, right till the tradition of Banda Bahadur. Have you seen this part of the history and tradition? Can you please comment?
Sir, it is a human psychology. When it comes to power, religion has nothing to do with it. It was only a power game, and one should not confuse it with that they were Sikhs or they were Muslims. It was only a power struggle. For example, Charlie Mukte, they also betrayed Guru Gobind Singh Ji, but later on they realized that it was their mistake. And sir, I don't remember the name, but
I'm extremely happy with your clarity. May God bless you.
So, Karamjot, you have earlier mentioned about Paticca Samupad, the philosophy of Buddhism.
Yes.
According to this philosophy, the whole phenomenal existence can be explained in the cycle of 12 Nidanas. What was the beginning? What was the first Nidana from where the entire phenomenal existence starts? Can you?
It is a Davadas Nidan. There are 12 spokes of a wheel, and there are 12 spokes. And it's like Jarana, Jati, Bhav, Upadan, Trishna, Vedna, Sparsh, Sadhyayatan, Vigyan. Last is Avidya, and forward to.
Last is the Vidya, but the cycle starts the other way around. Yeah. The cycle starts from the other way. It's the origin of the phenomenal existence, the origin of the Jarmara is Avidya.
Then because of Vidya ignorance,
one
takes a path, one takes new life, Jaramaran.
I got my answer. And again, one question on Buddhist philosophy only. What was Buddha's take on the idea of soul? Atma?
So he did not believe in eternal soul. He believed in Naratmavad. It does not mean that there is no soul. It means there is no eternal soul. He believed in the changing soul. So he believed in Panchskandhas, that is Vigyan, Vedana, Sangya, Sadhyayatan, these 5 paths and body, Nam Roop. So he believed in a changing soul, but he did not believe in eternal soul, unlike what is believed in Vedantas.
You are posted as you have worked as a tehsildar.
Working as a tehsildar.
You are working as a tehsildar. One of the things that is being criticized is as far as the rural development of the possibility of development of rural markets or commercialization of agriculture is concerned, is that there is absence of land records in our country. So what's your personal take, like given your experience as working as a tehsildar, how is the situation in Punjab and particularly the areas where you are posted?
So land records have been already digitalized. Jamabandis are all digitalized. We can find it on PLRS, Punjab Land Record Society.
Okay.
The issue is not the digitization of land records. The issue is there is no partition of land cases. That is one of the major reasons why there are so many land disputes. The land titling issues. What we say is informally there is land titling. That this area, for example, there are 5 acres and there are 10 people who own this land. In a Jamabandi, in a ownership column, there are many owners, and what they do is they informally demarcate, this is my portion, this is my portion. But in land records, it is not formally partitioned. The same cases are not being partitioned. That is a major issue, what I feel.
So how can that thing be rectified? Because like if we practically go by the nature of the thing, when I say there is absence of land records, so that one person among those 10 people, he cannot he cannot claim that this particular plot of land is his, even though there is informal partitioning partitioning of the land, but he still cannot legally claim that this particular plot belongs to him. So like how can we move forward in this case?
So legally there is only one issue, one way out to partition the land, and and they have to approach the Tahsildar to get the land partitioned, and they can do by 2 ways. One is court work. Tahsildar can do through a court work, and other is if they are all agreeing to that this is my land, this is my land. What happens is that the parties involved, they do not agree that this will be my portion, this will be my portion, because issues like there is a road going on, road coming up, NHI. So the one who gets the front land, his price of land increases manifold. So this issue always crops in.
Okay.
There is one related to your question.
Yeah,
If you
sure,
please allow me,
sure.
Because otherwise I'll have to come back to that. There is a piece of land that belongs to 2 brothers. It has been inherited by them from their mother. Its basic owner was the mother. Now, in the records of the tehsili, the 2 brothers have that piece of land in their name as joint partners. Now, suddenly, because of certain reasons, the brothers don't get along. They are not on, you can say, even talking terms. One of the brothers wants to either sell the land or has sold the land without the permission of the other brother, his portion, half. But it is not divided. जैसा आपने कहा कि तकसीम नहीं हुई है, 1/2 के हिस्से हैं. तो आप बताइए कि उसमें क्या लीगल रेमेडी है उस आदमी के लिए जिसकी पार्टनरशिप की जमीन जो है वो बेच दी गई, और वेदर उसकी कोई रेमेडी नहीं है.
No, has he sold the whole land or one half?
One half is.
So half land he is legally allowed to sell.
Okay.
And it will depend on the kabza. I mean, where is he actually cultivating the land? The one, for example, this is a land. This is a land, and half portion is this. He legally can sell the land.
He can sell half of it, which is in his kabza.
Which is in kabza.
But let's look at it that he sold half the land and the rest of the half के ऊपर वो tailing कर रहा है. The other brother is staying abroad.
Then he has to approach civil court. He has no remedy with Tahsildar.
Okay.
Civil court, he has a remedy in civil court.
You're sure वहाँ पे उसको न्याय मिल सकता है?
Sir, if he takes a good lawyer, perhaps he can.
But the Tahsildar can't do anything.
Tahsildar cannot do.
Why?
Tahsildar can only look into the selling of land, registry mein. Later on, once the land is sold, it becomes a property dispute. Property dispute can only be resolved by civil court, not by Tahsildar.
I got it. There is a law which says now that even after 12 years, if somebody comes and takes a kabza of his land, after that he can claim that land. The other person can't. Legally the Tahsildar will say, "हाँ भैया the kabza है की ज़मीन है." Is that right?
Sir, I'm forgetting the this word, this principle of what are you mentioning?
Kabza.
So there's a word.
Limitation.
No, sir, there's a word. I'm not able to recall, but I'll definitely go and look into it.
Okay.
Sir, 12 years. So this is also case with civil court. Tahsildar does not have any power on regarding it.
Okay.
As per my experience, but I'll definitely go back and look into it.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Sir.